you sometimes struggle to manage the behavior of your students in class? I do. Do you sometimes feel they're just acting out to make your life more difficult? Sometimes I do too. Would you like to hear what I do and how it's helped me in the classroom over my 30 years in teaching English to speakers of other languages? If your answer is yes, keep watching. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Learning Together with Robert. If this is your first time visiting me, thank you for being here. And if you're back, thank you very much for your support, because without you, this wouldn't make any sense. If you haven't subscribed, why not do it now and give us a like? I'm Robert Martinez, and I have been an English teacher since 1994 and a teacher, educator, and language assessment specialist for almost 20 years now. It's been an incredible journey, having lived and worked in 9 different countries. I'm a CELTA tutor and assessor, online moderator, a full-time director of studies, and tutor on the IHC ELT course, teaching English to young learners and teenagers. And I enjoy being in the classroom both face-to-face and online. If you want to know more about my professional background, experience, and qualifications, I've put a link to my LinkedIn profile and a link to a video cartoon version of my CV to jazz things up in the description box below. Feel free to check them out. Hi everyone, today I'm excited to share my top 5 ingredients for successful classroom management with you. These tips have helped me create a happy and productive classroom environment, and I hope they can do the same for you. We're diving into one of the most important aspects of teaching, classroom management, the backbone of a happy classroom, and it can make a huge difference in both your and your students' experiences. Without further ado, let's get into my top 5 ingredients for successful classroom management. My top ingredient number 1 is empathy. Be empathetic. We need to put ourselves in the learner's shoes. As Stephen R. Covey said, seek to understand rather than being understood. It is one of the key principles from his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it just fits perfectly the language classroom. Empathy is the cornerstone of any good relationship, and it's especially important in the classroom. When we talk about empathy in teaching, we're talking about the ability to understand and share the feelings of our students. This means really listening to them and trying to see things from their perspective. Think about it. If a student is acting out, there's often an underlying reason. Maybe they're struggling with something at home, or they're feeling frustrated because they don't understand the material. Instead of immediately jumping to discipline, take a moment to understand what's going on. Ask questions, show you care, and try to connect on a human level. This not only helps you address the root of the problem, but also builds trust and respect. A couple of years ago, I had a teenage student who was just plain rude, crossing the lines of unacceptable behavior. I was surprised by the language and attitude used to decline my invitation to participate in the lesson. And so initially, naturally, I felt like reacting and establishing my authority. However, I decided to ask her to sit by the cooling off corner and to rejoin the class after a few minutes. After the lesson, I spoke to her, and I also spoke to her parents to try and understand what was going on. And in fact, not only had she been dealing with her being an adolescent herself and going through all those chemical changes in the brain, but also with her parents who were going through a divorce. So while that's not to justify her behavior, it allowed me to be informed when speaking to her and trying to support her in the classroom while helping her understand respect, and that it is at the base of all interaction, and our own struggles cannot excuse lack of it. And all of this is closely linked to my top ingredient number 2, awareness of the changing brain, especially in young learners and teenagers up to 21 years old. Can you imagine? Young learners and teenagers are going through significant brain developments, and this affects their behavior and learning in profound ways. For younger children, their brains are still developing foundational skills like emotional regulation and attention. Teenagers, on the other hand, are dealing with a whirlwind of hormonal changes and the development of higher order thinking skills. These changes can sometimes make them seem unpredictable, or even irrational, as their prefrontal cortex, where those decisions are made, is still developing. I didn't know that until recently. According to science and something I learned on the Nile Teaching Teenagers course, our prefrontal cortex doesn't finish developing until we're 20 or between 20 and 22 years of age. This had a major impact on my own view of teens and what I was expecting them to do in the classroom, so definitely worth keeping it in mind. As teachers, we need to be aware of these developmental changes. This awareness helps us set realistic expectations and respond appropriately to their needs. For example, young children might need more breaks and opportunities for movement, while teenagers might need more opportunities for discussion and autonomy. And we need to understand first that those silly decisions they make in their behavior are so because they're still in the process of developing the skills needed to make the right decisions and behave better within the classroom and the group. Okay, and we come now to my top ingredient number 3, the power of relationships. Building strong rapport and relationships with your students is essential. Rapport isn't just about being liked, it's about creating a positive and respectful classroom environment where students feel safe and valued. Take time to know your students individually, learn about their interests, strengths, and challenges. Use this knowledge to connect with them and make your lessons more engaging and relevant. A classroom where students feel understood and appreciated is one where they're likely to participate and less likely to cause disruptions. Additionally, positive relationships encourage a sense of community. When students feel they belong to a supportive group, they're more inclined to support each other and work together, which can significantly enhance the learning experience. The late Rita Pearson gave a TED Talk that gives me goosebumps every time I watch it, and I cannot recommend it enough. I've left a link in the description, so do check it out. And now it's my top ingredient number 4, learning and teaching knowledge. We really need to know our trade. Would you go to a doctor who's not licensed, or a lawyer who says they're one but didn't go through law school and only does this because they like law and are good at it? I wouldn't. As teachers, our primary role is to facilitate learning. This means we need to continuously improve our own knowledge and teaching skills and know what we're talking about. So stay updated with the latest research in education, attend professional development workshops, and collaborate with your own colleagues to share best practices. An initial teaching qualification is not enough, and we owe it to ourselves and our students. Understanding different learning preferences and methodologies can help us tailor our teaching to meet the diverse needs of our students. The more knowledgeable we are, the more confident and effective we'll be in the classroom, while also realizing how little we know. It is humbling, and that is good. This doesn't mean we have to be an expert in everything, of course not. But being open to learning and growing can make a huge difference for everyone around us, not just our students. And we come to my last top ingredient, informed decisions in lesson planning. A learner-centered approach is definitely important when lesson planning. Effective classroom management starts with well-thought-out lesson plans that put learners at the center of all activity and are informed by up-to-date and sound pedagogical practice. This means designing activities that are engaging, appropriately challenging, and cater to different learners' needs. Consider your students' interests and incorporate them into your lessons. Use a variety of teaching methods to keep things interesting and accommodate different preferences. And always have backup in case something doesn't go as expected. Also, involving students in the planning process can be beneficial. Give them choices when appropriate. This is the power of agency. And seek their feedback on what works and what doesn't. When students feel they have a say in their learning, they're more likely to be engaged and take responsibility for their behavior and respect you. I often ask students at different stages in the term how they like my lessons, what they like and don't like, what they would like more or less of, to get an idea. I have a dialogue with them and I confirm what is viable and what is not. So there you have it. These are my top 5 ingredients for a successful classroom management lesson. I hope you found these tips helpful, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more teaching tips and strategies. I've also made a summary for you to take away, and I've added a link in the description. And don't forget to leave a comment below with your own classroom management tips or even your own questions. I love to hear from you. Well, we've come to the end, but I'll be sharing more exciting videos, so stay tuned and subscribe. Do let me know in the comments box if you have any special requests, and I'll try to make a video about them. That'll be exciting, don't you think? I'll make sure I'll give you a shout in the video. Do share this video with your friends, and can I ask you a favor? Hit the like button so that more people can see this video. Bye for now, and remember, learning is fun and you don't have to do it alone. So let's learn together with Robert.